Hello, welcome back to Multisensory Monday. This week I had a request to do something for the 111 rule. Now this is kind of a complicated rule. Pretty much every Orton-Gillingham program has it in some form, but basically it's if your base word ends with, or if your base word is one syllable and it ends with one vowel followed by one consonant, and you're adding a vowel suffix, you gotta double that consonant at the end. Very complicated rule. So I made a game to sort of practice all of the steps involved in the 111 rule. So here's how it works. First of all, you can make your own list of words and you can print them on cards. You'll need one color of card for your base words and a different color of card for your suffixes. Or if you want to save some prep time, I put a list of words on labels like I have here. You can print them out from Teachers Pay Teachers. My store on Teachers Pay Teachers is Daddy Bray. So actually goes over here. Okay. So what you're going to do, you also will need score sheets. They look like this. They have a column for base word, double, suffix, word, and points. And then at the bottom they have 15 words, and then at the bottom it says total points. You can also print this out from Teachers Pay Teachers. So you and whoever else is playing with you are going to need your own score sheets, so print out as many as you need. In the simpler version of the game, you just have one syllable base words, and you take turns. So say it's my turn. I'm going to draw a base word. I'm going to look at it, I'm going to read it, wheel. And then I'm going to state, does it end with one vowel and one consonant? It does not. It has two vowels. It's got a vowel team. So the answer is no. And I'm going to write wheel, which I already did, wheel, for my base word column. Then I'm going to draw a suffix card, less. And I'm going to state, does that suffix start with a vowel? No, it does not. Now I can make a whole word, or first I'll write down less on suffixes, okay? So wheel and less doesn't need the doubling rule because I answered no to at least one of my questions. And then I write the whole word, wheel, less. And then right now that word is only worth 1 point because it did not use the doubling rule. However, if I use it, if I define it, I can get an extra 5 points. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say wheel less means without wheels. And then I get 6 points for that word because 5 plus 1 is 6. And then play would pass to the next player, and they would do the same thing. So say they would draw big. It does end with one vowel and one consonant, so the answer is yes. I write big. It does start with a vowel, est, so I write est. I answered yes to both of my questions, so I got to write a G in my doubling column because big ends with a G. And then when I write the whole word, I see biggest has 2 G's. And biggest used the doubling rule, so it's worth 5 points. However, if I define biggest, the most big, then I get 10 points. So I get an extra 5 points for defining it. And then play would pass to the next player. You can do this with probably up to 4 people, I would think, pretty easily. The more players you have, probably the less words you want to do though, so you might cut it down to like 5 or 10 words instead of 15. You could also do this with a whole class, and you could divide the class into teams and have them send up a new student for each word until your teams are done. When you've gotten to, everybody's had the same amount of turns and you're done, you add up all your points at the bottom, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Now you could also have your student play this as a solo version and just go through the process by themselves and see if they can beat their high score. So that's the basic game. Now if you have a more advanced student and you want to work on this rule with a multi-syllable base word, I have a set of cards you can make for that as well. So let's say, and I call them the challenge words. So open is one. So not only do they have to say, yes, it ends with a vowel and a consonant, but is the accent on the last syllable? No, it's not. It's open. So it's over here. So that would not need the doubling rule because you only doubled if the accent's on the last syllable. This is also called the 2-1-1 rule in some programs. So open, and then I would write that down and I would draw my suffix card. Ish. Open-ish. And then I would try to figure out what that means. Now, no, they're not always going to make a real word, right? But they can still define it if they know the meaning of the suffix. So open-ish, I mean kind of open, right? And then that would be worth 7 points because the challenge words are worth a little more. So that's basically the game. You could shuffle challenge cards in and just sort of randomly have them in there if your student's more advanced, or you could have them as a separate pile and they could choose if they want to use them, or you could use it to differentiate instruction if you have a group of different levels of kids. Oh, and if you want to find a list of words to use to make this game without paying for the Teachers Pay Teachers words, what you can do is, if you have the Gillingham manual, you can look at page 136 through 139, and that's where I got all my words from. So that's one source, or your program books probably have words you can use as well. Or if you want to just buy the words I've prepared, you can also modify those as much as you want. You could throw some different syllable types in there. Like right now I didn't put any R-controlled syllables, I didn't put any silent E syllables, but if you want to make that a little more varied, you can do that. So that's kind of up to you. I only use certain vowel teams. So whatever your student needs and whatever suffixes they might already know or not know, you can modify it as much as you want. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me for another Multisensory Monday. Next week I hope to have a similar game that focuses on the drop E rule, dropping an E when adding a suffix. So stay tuned for that. All right.